Daddy's. Daddy's.
Welcome back to us here at Death Metal Daddies. My name is Jeff,
I'm Silas.
and we're back for another week. Another week. Uh, it's been
No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
yeah. I don't know about you, but it feels like there's some toros in the atmosphere. Am I right?
Somewhat.
Toros in this atmosphere
Toros.
because it's cold out there.
Wait,
Yeah,
it's called Toros.
Burr, it's cold in here. There must be some toros in the atmosphere. I said Burr.
Oh, is that Bring It On?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God, what is that, like 25 years old? That's insane. Holy crap. I can't believe is that like did you just watch that recently?
No, I just thought about it when I was getting out of my car. It's like a burr. It's just burrs. And then I've been doing that every now and then. It's like must be some.
Uh,
So just thought about it today because goddamn, it's cold out the past couple days. I'm sure it's probably as
oh,
cold
dude,
up
it's
there
brutal.
as it is down here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been insane. I think it's reaching down to I think it was -1, -2 this morning. 4 degrees on my way to work, and then it finally got up to like 11 in the afternoon. But yeah, dude, it's been bitching cold. I've been pretty much camped out inside the shop, just trying to reorganize at work and stuff, and definitely avoiding being outside. Yeah, it
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah. It's been too damn cold, and it sucks because Annie just started basketball and she wants to practice like dribbling and all that, and I'm all about that. But
Mm,
um,
not
I
right
don't
now.
really see much of a point of her bundling up to be like the little brother in Christmas Story and barely be able to dribble.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that ball would be like a rock too.
Hmm.
Oh man. I always think about that, like especially like watching these football games and like the cold ass weather they're playing in. Like, dude, I just catching that thing fucking zinging at you has gotta hurt so bad.
Oh yeah, and
But I
also
mean, I'm
since
sure
they're
they're
not,
like pumped full of adrenaline, but
but also just trying to stay warm out there because they're usually like most of them aren't even wearing sleeves. There's maybe put some tape on their elbows. Some are maybe wearing like Under Armour, but most of them aren't
yeah.
wearing anything.
Oh, dude, that job would suck.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, no excuses. It's rain, shine or snow or whatever. But yeah, there's definitely toros in the atmosphere. Faux show.
Especially, I think it would especially suck to be the quarterback since you can really. There's at least one hand you cannot wear a glove on, like your throwing hand, because obviously that's you're so used to throwing it without it. So no matter what, that hand has to
Yeah.
just be raw dog in that entire game out in that cold.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, and those hand warmers surely can only do so much, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I'm sure it still sucks.
But enough about the weather. How's your week been? What you been up to? What's
Yeah.
new?
Oh. Another week. Um, I mean, tons of new shit. No, just kidding. Not really. Um, music. There's a lot of new music this week. I was actually able to focus on that. Outside of that, not a whole lot, man. Trying to get back on my workouts. Trying to stay consistent with that. If I could just kind of, I'm trying to crack down on the diet too a little more, but I think I could be a little better about that. Let's see. Oh, I got some more quotes for my truck because the two I've received, I don't know if I've went over this or not. I can't remember. But the two quotes that I've received for it to repair the cosmetic damages is 4 grand now and 5 grand. So they're going higher. Definitely didn't anticipate that. So this last Friday, I went out and like got a round of quotes in on the truck, or tried to, to get shops to give me some more quotes. But it seems like this truck is so old, like they see it and they're like, oh, Yeah, we usually don't handle anything 15 years or older. So I'm like, fuck, man, come on. Like, I don't know. I feel like I missed the mark on the prime Ranger ownership days because now, yeah, parts are cheap, but that model's becoming so old. It's just like it's becoming more rare and like uncommon. You know what I mean? So, uh, they're probably modern shops are probably pretty used to seeing models that are 2000 or older. I imagine, maybe, but and I guess this is sorry, probably like 2010 and older because this is just a 99, but still.
Yeah. I almost wonder if maybe if you go into like one of those like really small middle of nowhere shops, where it's more of like a farming town, if maybe they would be better since they're probably used to more of like the farmers not wanting to update their trucks, want to stay with the old stuff kind of thing. I don't know if maybe they would be better.
Right. Well, so yeah, I mean, I went to this shop in Camdenton, and as soon as I walked in, they're just like, "Hey, what do you need?" And told them, and that was their response. Oh, yeah, usually trucks that old we don't really take anything like that anymore. He's like, and then he's just like, but there's this guy down the road, and he lives across from yada yada, and you just go down there, and you'll see a bunch of vehicles, and I'm just like, I was like, okay. And so I took his, I was nice and everything, but I don't know, I didn't pursue that one. So if it comes down to it, I guess I'll have to, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm just waiting on a call right now. Um, so any day, I'm really wanting to get that bitch repaired because I've already been pulled over once for it, and I just I don't know, don't want to give them another excuse to pull me over. You know what I mean? If I don't have
Yeah.
to, so. But other than that, man, um, anything else that's new? Uh, no, not off the top of my head.
I gotcha.
What about you?
It's been a pretty uneventful for me. Besides, like I said, Annie started basketball. I wasn't able to go. I just watched the kids. Apparently she loved it. So we're trying to get her
Oh,
to
cool.
practice more on it. We even took her to the school since her grandma is
Nice.
a teacher there. So, and they have apparently that school because the middle school, elementary school, and high school all in like one big building.
Oh,
And
okay.
I guess here in Crane, basketball's huge. So they have four basketball gyms in there.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah. So we were able to practice for a little bit, practice on dribbling and all that stuff, which is weird because I've never been in basketball. I don't know where she gets this gene at, but and trying to figure out the best way to actually teach her it, which I'm not really the best teacher. I can show her how to dribble, I can show her how
Uh,
I shoot, but I mean that'll only take her so far.
yes.
But yeah, hopefully we can get her good enough to where she can actually enjoy it and be competitive with the other girls. Other than that, nothing new. Last week at my current job, start my new job Monday. So excited for that.
Nice. That's awesome. Heck yeah,
Mhm.
man. That's cool. Did you say do you guys have a basketball goal at home for Annie to
No,
practice with?
we've been thinking about getting one. We bought her brand new basketball, but
Mhm.
uh, her grandfather who lives with us, he was talking was like maybe we should get like he usually very like not want to buy anything, but he brought up the idea of maybe we get her a basketball goal
That'd
because
be
I
cool.
think yeah because I think they used to be somewhat into basketball because obviously he's Crane, they grew up in Crane, so I think
Hmm.
basketball would probably be good for the whole family kind of thing.
That'd be
Um,
sweet.
yeah. Other than that, we also did get a Costco membership, and I've never been to Costco before,
Oh
so
yeah, I've
now I'm
always
a
wondered about
Costco
that.
guy. Um,
Nice. Yeah, I feel like they're so rare, but I feel like you hear about them more than you do Sam's Club.
I actually kind of liked it more than Sam's Club. I was a little skeptical, but it has a lot of this. It's pretty much just like Sam's, except it has different brands and stuff. Like
Okay.
the gold standard proteins line. Like it's the I think On Nutrition. They're like the
Um,
black and red
mm,
labels.
yeah, I think it sounds familiar. Yeah. Oh, on like with two ends. Is that right? Or no?
I think it's
Or is it
just
just one end?
one
Oh,
end.
yeah, it's just one end. Yeah, optimal nutrition. Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I
Like
got
red and
a
black.
yeah. I got a bag from there. It was 5.5 pounds for $54.
Wow. Damn, that's
which
crazy.
we went to right after that we went to Academy Sports, which is pretty much just Dick's Sporting Goods, and they had just a 5 pound tub for $79. It's like, man,
Huh.
we got a great deal at Costco. So
Yeah,
Costco's
that's
pretty
awesome.
cool. I
That is
recommend
cool.
it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'd like to check one out, but I really have anyone. I don't think I have one near me at all. Be like an hour
It
plus drive.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be either because we had to go to Springfield, so probably Springfield, Kansas City, or St. Louis would probably be the closest one. This is the
Hmm.
first time I've ever been, but and it's literally pretty much exactly like Sam's Club. Everything is set up
Yeah,
the exact same,
all
just
in
different
bulk
brands.
and stuff.
hmm
Yeah.
They even have the take home meals just like almost exactly like Sam's Club. Like they have the
Huh.
chicken taco set up and all that. So
Heck yeah. That's cool. It's been years since I've been to a Sam's Club. I mean, I was a kid last time I went, but
I gotcha. Sam's Club is pretty cool too. So they like the take home meals are pretty cool. Like if you're in a bind or just want kind of a cheap meal, like the taco kits is only like $14 and it
hmm,
feeds the whole family. Just have
nice.
to heat up the chicken and it's all good to go.
So it's just like all the ingredients, or is it like dishes and
It's literally just like all the ingredients. So it's like a tray. It'll have tortillas, like shredded
uh,
cabbage, cheese, and then a bunch of like cooked seasoned chicken, but it's cold, so you just have to reheat it. They'll have a tub of salsa and a tub of like cilantro lime sauce, and then
oh,
also a
that's
couple
cool.
of slices of limes for you to put it on everything. And
Huh.
so I think it's purely off weight, so it's usually like somewhere between 13 and $15. Feeds the whole family. It's
Hell
like
yeah.
I want to say like 10 tortillas. It's pretty good.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, other than that, nothing new.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had a disclaimer from last week. I remember I gave it a gander just to check my mic levels and stuff, but on the whole thing that I was trying to get at with like you brought up the article with like Missouri has X amount of few hunters, however
Oh
many it
yeah.
was. The whole point I was getting to that was um I don't know, maybe I was clear. It seemed like it wasn't really clear, but basically that 1 week season is I think Missouri has on average like 12,000 hunters or something like that. I think I've looked that up before. Comment on it because I heard that and I was just like, I didn't even get to the point I was trying to make, and I like derailed like the entire topic. It's like, geez, dude. But oh, okay, so in 2022, Missouri roughly had 203,000 archery deer hunters and 444,000 firearms deer hunters. I was way off. It's way more than 12,000, but yeah. So that article, I believe you said like the muzzleloader scene had like a few thousand less, and it's just like that is not even a fraction of significance for those numbers. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I would say that you could probably expect that sort of fluctuation like every other year with hunting, really, you know. Um, one thing that is down is total hunter take. Like there was a lot less deer taken this year. Um, and I mean, I don't really know what to attribute that to. If it's like, they say that hunting's becoming less and less common, and I believe that to an extent, but I don't know. I think some guys just have luck some years, and I think it's going to be always back and forth. I think some years are going to have more fawn mortality and harsh winters, and like these freezing temperatures. Guarantee that's been hard on deer populations, and probably killed off more than it usually does because it probably hasn't been that bad in a while. So I don't, it's very situational. But I just think those articles can get like so hyped up on numbers just to try to aim it towards getting views and
Yeah,
shit like
clickbait
that. But
stuff.
yeah.
Yes.
Anyways,
Well, speaking of clickbait, I shared an article with Justin, friend of the show, and he brought up like because I didn't even read the article, I just read the headline. I was like, my Jesus Christ. And then he pointed out that I read, I was like, oh, okay, this makes more sense. But even it making sense, the whole idea of it made it crazy. But It was that I saw an article because yesterday was inauguration day, but it was also Martin Luther King Day. Um,
Oh,
and it pointed out that in Alabama and Mississippi, the title of the article was in Alabama and Mississippi, they celebrate uh, Robert E. Lee's birthday, General Robert E. Lee's birthday on Martin Luther King Day. Uh, but reading the article, and Justin pointed out, they've always celebrated his birthday. So it was kind of one of those clickbait, like it seemed made it sound
mm,
like they just started doing it as like a
yeah,
spiteful thing. Still not the
right,
best, but it just so
yeah.
happens that they were always celebrating on the third Monday of January, and it just so happens that Martin
Oh,
Luther King Day, when that was federalized, that was the same day. So they just celebrate both.
yeah,
Weird, weird thing, but yeah, clickbait articles
yeah,
get you.
yeah, yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, and fucking social media is going rampant right now after that inauguration. I don't know if you tuned into any of that or seen that,
I only
but
saw the parade. After that, I didn't care about it, and the only reason I watched that was because I was like, you know what, maybe I should watch some news, and it was on
mhm,
the Roku, the free Roku channel. I was like, I'll watch it for a little bit, whatever, just see if anything
yeah,
noteworthy happens.
yeah. I honestly I don't remember tuning into. I think I watched some of Obama's inauguration, but other than that, man, I haven't tuned into the last handful. But this one I actually tuned into, and I was at work and had some downtime, so I just wanted to check it out. And I actually missed the parade. That was the one thing I didn't see, but I pretty much saw most of the speech and everything else. But I mean, I thought for it being Trump, it was well spoken, but I mean, dude, it's a madhouse on social media because they're taking it as a total attack on the whole gender rights, inequality, and thing, and all that stuff, and that's a real sensitive subject. And yeah,
Yeah,
whatever, it is what it is. Anyways, back to death metal daddies. Um,
yeah. It's been
so
want to talk about new music.
What are you guys listening to?
Weekly playlist.
Weekly
Playlist.
Weekly Playlist. Weekly
weekly playlist, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
let's
the
do it.
new weekly
I was gonna start
playlist.
doing the. I'm gonna get those two mixed up a lot, I think. But
Yeah, we got some new music. So we have a couple new singles. Some I added, some you added, a couple new albums, and then also some other requests that we got from Sean. Uh, so yeah, let's just dive into it. You want to start off with the singles?
sure, man.
Um, I have
Bringing it up
about
here on my phone.
so for me the top singles. So I'm gonna go probably in order for me. Uh,
Hmm.
hymns and dissonance by Whitechapel has me actually on board with thinking that Whitechapel is fully back. Because when that first single came out, it's one of those things like, all right, is this? It made me think of like when Slipknot came out with the negative one. Like it gets you all excited, like, oh, they're gonna go back to that Iowa sound, that sound that we love. I kind of thought
Hmm.
the same thing with the Visceral Wretch. Like, yeah, it does sound like their older stuff, but I know what they've been doing recently. Let's see how it plays out. But this one's like, all right, they actually are going back to that more. This is Exile sound. At least the vibe is going back to that. So that does have me a little bit excited. What did you think of this new single?
I thought it sucked. No, I'm just kidding. Said no one ever. Yeah, dude. No, it's brutal as hell. Super fun. And yeah, dude, it is This Is Exile. And even I don't know if you did a deep dive, but the lyrical content, that Hymns and Dissonance song is all one song about. It has lines taken from This Is Exile. Titles of the songs like Father of Lies is part of the I sent you this. Hang on, my cat's going crazy. Sorry. It was like the one of the teaser clips, I think, for the video for Hymns and Sonnets. And it's like just brutal as hell Phil, like looking all dark and evil and shit. And but he's like doing this crazy vocal pattern. It sounds like a different language. And so that's what made me look up the lyrics. And it's literally like Father of Lies, backwards, and it's several other lies that are just basically written backwards. And at first I was just like, I don't know how I feel about that, but it does sound cool,
Mhm.
So I mean, and it's Whitechapel, so they get away with it. But yeah, man. But it gets me pumped for the album for sure. I think as far as singles go, this one versus the last one, I think a Visceral Wretch. I think I like that one a little bit more, but excited, no doubt.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I did because I remember they teased the this track with that whole backwards thing. Because I remember looking at it, I was like, that this sentence doesn't make sense. But then I
Mhm.
start like, oh, okay, I see what he's doing. Which I kind of do like. It adds that little evilness a little bit.
Yeah. Well, here I'll look it up and read it. Might as well since we're talking about it. It is. So I don't know how to read it either. It's kind of confusing. Father. Oh yeah. Okay. So it's not confusing. It's just word for word, but it's backwards, so I get confused. Might be a dyslexia thing. Father of Lies, Father of the Abyss. We come from below. Open your eyes, King Lucifer. Murder them all. So, I mean, it's those words backwards, and it sounds like this demonic chant. And I couldn't help but wonder if I buy that on vinyl and I do the whole like little Nicky trick, like, is it gonna sound like Badass Phil, like saying that forward?
I don't know. It would be cool if they did record themselves backwards doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it sounds. I guess he's just pronouncing them. Like, it's weird to say that he's pronouncing them backwards because then the word would be backwards. Maybe I'm making this way too complex.
It makes me
Words
think
are
of
written
that.
backwards, and it's like so. Like father's like retaf. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It makes me
Weird.
think of that Family Guy bit where Adam West was on Jeopardy and wrote Alex Trebek's name backwards. And when he says it out loud, it sends him back to his dimension.
Uh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah, so that's
new.
pretty dark for Whitechapel, though, right?
Yeah, I dig it. I'm glad they're going back to that more darker, evil sound that they originally started with instead of the whole like the introspective, like true story stuff was interesting. But for me, it was only interesting for one album. I didn't really understand why we needed another one of this continuation of his life story kind of thing. It's like it was
Yeah,
cool. It was interesting introspection, view into life of his childhood and stuff. That was cool. But I didn't want the whole band to just like this is what we are now. I'm glad they're going back to the original dark sound. So I
yeah,
appreciate
and
that from
like
them.
I can't help but notice like how many times he uses father as a lyric.
Yeah.
Like even in the Kin album, like obviously, like you get the ties there to like the personal stuff, and I think the Valley one too, maybe even.
Hmm.
But and then like older albums, and I feel like you get it in almost every album with Phil. So it's like I can't help but wonder if there's like background like that the raw stuff coming through. Like in I'm not going to say this is like a cover up, but like
Hmm.
it's Father of Lies, so he's obviously relating back to the This Is Exile thing. But is
Yeah.
Father of Lies, is he referring to as is that Lucifer, I guess, in this song? Or
I would say so because I'm pretty sure that's what the original one was supposed to be about. Because that is
okay.
one of his titles.
Mm,
But yeah, it's exciting.
interesting. Yeah.
Up next, I have Someone Who Can by Cody and Cambria. I do like Cody and Cambria, but I wasn't too much into this song. Felt more of their poppy mainstream stuff, so I didn't think I listened to it once and kind of moved on. Did you listen to that at all?
Yeah, I did, man. I actually liked it. I feel like it's almost like radio rock Coheed,
Hmm.
but really good. Like it's really good modern rock, honestly. Probably some of the best modern rock that I've heard that's actually makes me want to go back and listen to them again. And I think that's also part of the name Coheed. They're always going to be kind of more legendary than like your other radio rock artists. And
Yeah,
so yeah, man, I think it'd be cool to be just to hear that one on the radio.
yeah,
But
yeah. I'm kind of hit and miss with their more that style of their stuff. Like it has to be really, really catchy for me. Was it the Good Apollo Part Two with like feathers and what was the other big one off that album? Do you remember which one I'm talking
um,
about?
I don't, man. I'm not good on Coheed history. I don't know if I listened to that. Was that like Good Eye Sniper?
No, it was two albums after that.
Oh,
It was not the one with Welcome Home, but the sequel to that. It was Feathers, and there was another big single that came from that. But yeah, it was poppy, but it was at the same time super catchy. You want to sing along, so I don't know.
man, is
Maybe
it
this
the
one will
one with
grow.
the video with the mermaid?
I don't remember. It's the one that's like the album cover is like a cartoon ish thing, but it's like a guy walking towards the city. There's like crack in the ground between his feet.
Hmm. I don't know. I think the one I'm thinking of is Listen now, will you marry me? Da, da, da,
Ooh, I don't know which one that's from.
Oh, The Suffering? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah,
Some
that's the third one, isn't it?
Listen now. I don't know. I'm not good on Coheed. I
Yeah.
guess I can check real quick. But man, I love that song. That's honestly probably my favorite. That's on 4.
Oh, okay.
Um, yes. Oh, Vaxis 2. I guess is that what you're talking about? Or no, that's a new one.
No, this is a Good Apollo Part Two. I want to say.
Oh my God, they got a lot of albums, dude.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I didn't really keep up with them after Good Apollo Part Two.
Oh, so the first Good Apollo is the one with the 4 on the cover.
Hmm. Oh, No World for Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did not listen to that one.
Yeah, it's the song was Feathers, and then the other one was They're Running Free.
Hmm.
Those two super catchy, but I love them, and that's I like that kind of more poppy Coheed.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, moving on from Coheed, did you check out the new Imperial Triumphant?
I did.
What'd you
It's
think?
probably the first Imperial Triumphant I've sat all the way through. Well, it features Thomas Hawk, so I felt like I had to. I was like, okay, I gotta check it out. And it's cool, but it's just so damn weird. Like, it's still just so goddamn weird. I'm just like, what is this? I still don't really know what they're doing. I mean, again, I'm all about the aesthetics. I think they look cool as hell. Makes me want to see them live. But the tunage, I'm just like, what? Like, I don't know, just kind of check out. I'm like,
I
what the
gotcha.
fuck's going on?
I
But
figured
and so
maybe
like
this one could.
this one did. This one did. And but then like you get the brass going and the brass sounds like it's like off pitch and
Hmm.
like all just doing all sorts of weird shit. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's so weird, man. I don't really know what to think of it, but I
I
really
gotcha.
like their whole like majestic kind of thematics that they're doing, man. It draws me in, but I don't know. I'll be interested to hear what the other songs sound like off of this upcoming album.
Yeah, because this new song, Lexington Delirium, and I want to say even their previous singles they've come out with, I've been liking them so far. And all honesty, I feel like these have been the most accessible Imperial Triumph that has been in ever. Because even this
Mhm.
one starts off with almost like a country style, it felt like at the beginning, guitars.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I felt like this was more not really mainstream, but more accessible for like their previous album. I felt like was super dense and to where it's like if you are unsure about Imperial Triumphant, their previous album, Mercurius Gold, or I forget what it's called, or in Ecstasy in Gold or whatever. If I would not recommend someone if they want to get into it, that album. This is the album how it's pairing up to be. If I wanted someone to get into this band, I would show them whatever this album is going to be because so far this is more accessible tunes. I do feel like it's losing a little bit of its Imperial Triumphant feel with like the because they have that very decadent and just chaotic vibe. This still is a little bit chaotic, but since they are breaking it up more, it doesn't feel as decadent as it usually does. I almost equate their music to almost like a 7 layer, like those 7 layer chocolate cakes that you would get from like the store. It's
Yeah.
just each layer is just more and more instruments that they can just cram into it.
Yeah. Like
but
the Fiesta dip, like that.
yeah, it's
Got
just
like the pico, the sour
just a
cream,
lot
cheese,
going on.
and the beans. Yeah.
You can't even distinguish everything. It's just all blending together.
Yeah, dude. Like this, I know what you mean because like out of all the other Imperial Triumphant I've tried to listen to, this one sounds like the most structured kind of song. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have like your intro, then it like kicks into it, and you have like your kind of main. I don't know if you call it a chorus, but a part that kind of repeats twice. I think I don't know if I remember off the top of my head, but Thomas Hawk is definitely signature in this song. It's so weird, but so damn awesome to feature a drummer. You don't
Mm-hmm.
get that,
Yeah,
like never.
and
I
I'm
was like,
also
hell
kind of
yeah when I saw his name.
I'm also confused. Like, so is he like there's like a spoken word part? Is he the spoken word part, or is he drumming in this? I'm not really sure.
You know, I wondered that because that spoken word reflects a lot of like Meshuggah's spoken word
Mm-hmm.
in the same kind of style. And so like not like the metal vocal thing because he kind of does that, I guess. Well, I guess that's just his growl. It's kind of a unique growl because it just like comes out there, you know, with not a whole lot of backing to it. It's just like and like talking about New York City, it sounds like, or Manhattan and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? It's so weird, but yeah, I don't know. They're interesting, man. No doubt.
Yeah, yeah, that is building up for their new album coming out this year. I'm excited. 'Cause like I said, I do love Imperial Triumphant, but I felt like the previous album was kind of too much of the chaoticness because you brought it up to where this album is so far it seems like these songs it's almost like there's a you are able to actually walk through to where the other one like there's ground for you to walk on and understand what's going through the song. The other ones felt like there's nothing to walk on. You're just in this chaos of a soup pretty much. You're just in this and everything's just going on around you. To where this
Yeah.
one feels like okay, I can understand point A to point B. I can walk through it kind of thing. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like the biggest difference I noticed is actually like the drumming. I mean, I guess obviously if you're gonna have a drummer featured, you know, he's gonna put his style on it. But previously, you know, I just felt like it was so blast ridden that it just kind of made it that much more of a mess. You know, I don't have
Mm-hmm.
a problem with blasts, love them, but with the brass too on top of blast beats is and then it's just like what the fuck, you know. But so I don't know. I guess that's maybe why it was a little bit easier for me to digest, just because Thomas Hawk, you know, he's got like his signature stuff. He's doing like these crazy ass rolls that he just kind of kicks in with, like no subtlety to it whatsoever. I'm just like, whoa, yeah, that's clearly him. But no, it's cool, man. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Interested to hear the rest of the album.
Up next, we have the song Stone Shepherd by Hype Thrall. Am I pronouncing that right?
I think so. So this is a local project, Hypothrail or Hypothrail, Hypathrail, Hypathral. Um, and this song is Stone Shepherd, and this is a pretty insane tech project, and Stu just writes crazy stuff, man. And in their last album, it was just as nuts. But I'm really digging this song, man. He's got an insane solo. That's about on the second half of the song, but I thought it was pretty sick. What'd you think?
I thought it was good. I'm having a hard time. I remember liking it, but I'm having a hard time remembering because I kind of crammed a bunch of music right before we came on,
Hmm.
and that would be like the
Yeah, I
next
did
couple
too.
songs and the other two albums. But I do
Yeah,
remember liking this.
it's
But I
good
can't.
tech.
Yeah,
He's
but
got
I can't.
crazy change ups, and it's one of those techs that just like totally catches me off.
Hmm.
It throws me off, but it was interesting to listen to.
And you say, is this a one man project?
I mean, I think he writes all the parts for it and maybe has people do like the drums and vocals, but I think it's kind of driven by one dude.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, check out Stone Shepherd by Hypaethral. Hopefully that's the right pronunciation.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Up next we have Blades by Scour. I
Yeah, dude.
enjoyed this.
Yeah, dude,
This
this
was
song
this was cool.
rips. Yeah. Phil just sounds so damn good doing black metal,
Hmm.
man.
Hmm.
Like he really does. He's got a perfect screeching, screamy vocal, man, for it. And this song is just a freaking ripper, man. Relentless as hell and just kicks right into it, dude. So good and real short. Like they got a commonality with their songs. They're all, not crazy lengthy. Um, but yeah, dude, it's an earful. It's awesome. I really
Oh
dug it.
yeah, it was pretty cool. I do like it is black metal, but this felt more not as black. It felt more like more fast paced, deathy a little bit for me than their
Mhm.
previous song. So that I like the variation. Hopefully, this album will kind of keep that up to where it kind of goes back and forth between the rip and death metal and the atmosphere or somewhat atmospheric black metalish stuff. At least the vibe of it.
Mhm.
So hopefully they keep that dynamic going on the album.
Their
Um,
tunage is really just giving me, I hate to compare, but like Marduk vibes.
mhm.
And I feel like they just sound so damn similar. And I think that's great. Like I haven't heard from that band in forever, but this is just like a refreshing kind of similar vibes at what they were doing last time I checked them out. But so it's exciting, man. Cool as hell.
Up next we
And
have
then
oh,
yeah, go for it.
up next we have Tabula Rasa by this band called Tabu or Planetary Ghosts. It appears that this is their second track release on Spotify, leading up to an EP. I believe it's a debut. This one's featuring Cheney Crab from Entheos. This was sick. I didn't really.
Yeah.
What really hooked me was the last half of this song. I feel like that's as soon as Cheney comes in, and then the rest of it just rips. This was awesome tech death.
Dude, it's nuts. It's heavy as hell. Crazy ass vocals going on just in their band, and I like that you can identify the Cheney Crab feature. Good. It was levels and everything. It's just awesome. Yeah, it's super cool. Tech death, like or tech core. I don't even know what you call it, but yeah, it was super sick, dude.
hmm I'm thinking of
And I don't
skipping the
think I heard
next.
this band before. You
No, it
say it's
looks like
debut?
they're. I want to say it's debut because I wanted to, as when I was listening to it, once it got to that like halfway mark, I was like, "Ooh, this is getting good." I wanted to check them out,
Yeah.
and I only saw they only had two songs out, and I was trying to read. They have a whole biography, and it looks like
Oh
they're
well.
building up to an EP. So I'm assuming it's their debut EP, unless they have some underground stuff. And they signed. It's one of those things they signed a label, and they had to keep all their stuff in until they release it. There's EP on the label. I don't know. We'll see. Because I remember that happened with Sunny Lich with their demo when they signed to Prosthetic. They were coming out with that
Mm.
new album. They removed the demo, and then it
Oh
just
yeah.
started doing all the singles that coming up for their debut.
Right.
I'm gonna skip this next song because we also had the full album. Uh,
Yeah.
So we'll go over to Buried Realm featuring Bjorn Speed Strid. And the song is Where the Armless Phantoms Glide. I'm trying to remember the rest of the. I feel like there's one more word, part two. This was also pretty good. Similar vein of Planetary Ghost, I felt like. What'd you think of this one? I like this one.
Yeah, dude, I liked it a lot, man. Ripping tech death and really good tech, man. Again, like I felt like this playlist was tech heavy with those singles.
Yeah.
But super cool, man. I'm always down for some new tech, and this one doesn't disappoint, dude. And I think this is again one man project. Josh Dumer, I want to say is his name. I feel like I've seen that on Facebook, but yeah. So this is, I think he's got a couple albums, but dude, yeah, it's fantastic, fun listen.
And the name sounds familiar. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Bjorn Strid, is that soil work?
Yes, I think that's
Okay.
right. Yeah, because I think I've seen a little reel that he was on announcing the song. Double check. Yep, soil work vocalist. So that's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah,
Definitely a cool ass feature for that dude to get.
absolutely. So that does it for the singles. Let's move on to the albums. I'll start off with the albums that were on our playlist. Simply because looking back, I didn't. There wasn't too much that grabbed me from the playlist I built. Like there were some good albums on here, but nothing that like would ever hit. For me anyway, would hit on my like of the year top 10 or honorable mentions. There's a couple good albums here and there. Like I like this new album by Hazard, kind of a thrashy, almost if I would say if the Texas Toast Chainsaw Massacre was more serious, I would say it would be like Hazard. This is their new album, The Third Dimension. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Did you listen to this one at all?
Yeah, I did, dude. I really liked it, man. I thought they had a
Mhm.
cool sound. Um, Kind of in the tunes of like Trivium. I hear like
Mhm.
Trivium kind of riffage in there at times. But pretty sweet, man. Really, really fun listen. And I like the album artwork too. I felt like it kind of has like a vintage kind of thrash vibe, you know, with the whole.
Mhm.
It's got like a dude with a skeleton. Just I don't know. It looks crazy.
Yeah, I felt like
It'd
the
be
album kind of
crazy,
had that
crazy
80s
for me to
vibe.
describe. Yeah, it
Yeah,
did. Yeah, it's like old school. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
is there anything on this original playlist that stuck out to you besides Hazard?
I liked the Necro Death. I thought that was pretty
Okay.
sweet listen too. Again, it's kind of like uh, a thrash, like old school vibes. Not totally old school sound, but like thrash death, I guess you could say.
I checked it out a little bit, but I didn't
Sorry.
stick with it too much.
Yeah, they got some cool sounds, man. Um, but yeah, it ripped. Putrid Defecation. I remember listening to that one. Some good old slam, shit slam. I
I did
really
enjoy
appreciate.
this.
Yeah, I really appreciated the Jim Leahy sample in there.
Which
I don't
one?
know if you heard.
Which one was that? Because I heard a bunch of samples in it.
Yeah, this one is the sample of it's Jim Leahy from Trailer Park Boys talking to Randy, and it's
Oh,
the yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna mess this which one it was up. Uh, Shit storms a brewing or something like that, or
I can smell it in the
it's
air.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Whirlwind of excrement
Yeah,
is the sample.
and
The way the shit clings to the air, so
I,
ridiculous.
I do love the whole album. I feels like so. I guess the band and this whole album is just like poop related humor slam. Because even the last track, Erfurt, latrine disaster, starts off with that sample. My anus is bleeding.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was like, what the hell? So weird.
It was fun though. Fun, ridiculous slam. I enjoyed that one. Um,
Yeah.
Other than that hierarchy, I felt like I could like it, but something just felt off with it. And that's this new album by Hierarchy. What was it called? Hierarchies. Is so the band's called Hierarchy and the album is called Hierarchies. Um,
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
what do you think of it? Because I feel like with the Almars, like this has to be cool, and it's tech-ish. I feel like this should be cool, but felt missing and weird.
Well, yeah, it's just a weird vibe. Like they just, I don't know. And Sean sent it to me, and so I think there's some probably technical drumming going on in there. Um, and I mean, yeah, I heard that, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. I needed some more umph, and if I want to remember right, I didn't really care for the vocals too much, but definitely an obscure sound, man. Like,
Hmm.
it's hard to relate him to anyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't stick with it too long.
And then lastly on this playlist, we have Be Hexen with their new album Beyond the Four Gates. And I don't know if this is a re-release or something. I'm not too familiar with this band. I've just heard of this band and saw it was on my new release playlist. And it sounds a little like to me, I only listened to a couple of songs, but it sounds almost like early Mayhem, like
Hmm.
almost to a T. Um, which is cool, but at the same time, I was already at the time listening to Mayhem. So it was like, well, this isn't, I'm not really too interested in this right now. Let me go to listen to the actual
Hmm.
Mayhem. But what did you think of this? Did you listen to this at all?
I think I skimmed through a couple, but I didn't give it too much time. It was super old school, and I guess this is a remaster or something like that, or no,
Okay.
demo 94. Total opposite. Uh, but anyways, I know the name's like super classic, and I probably should pay them respect to listen to this whole thing. But I noticed the long ass list of songs, and it just kind of I was like, yeah, no, I skipped over it.
Yeah, and most of these aren't like short songs. Like I see Land of the Trolls is 7 minutes, 57 seconds. Uh Derision for Jesus is 5.59 seconds. Flames of the Blaspheme or something, 5 minutes, 52 seconds. Like it's not like it's a bunch of short songs. It's what, like probably 15 or somewhere between 15 and 20 songs of all songs these length. It's a lot.
Hmm. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Um, that's it for that playlist. I although I put this playlist together, I wasn't that excited about it. What I was excited for was once I started listening to the music Sean sent us, and I really enjoyed these two albums.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
I didn't check out the Slam one as much as I did the other, and but I was
Synaptic.
really happy. Yeah, Synaptic, dude. I was really happy with that one. This is like a tech prog voyage, and there's a lot of math elements in here that would normally, I feel like, turn me away just because I'm not crazy about the change ups and stuff that comes with that. But I was able to like sit through a lot of this and actually really dig it. Like I don't know, man. They are just going balls through the wall on all
Mm-hmm.
their instruments, and it's just I was like, I'm here for it, man. I was working out to it, and I thought it was awesome, dude. I really liked it.
Yeah, the intro, like there's a lot of well, I wouldn't say a lot of instrumentals, but there's about two or three instrumentals on this album. It's a short album, only 8 songs long. But yeah, the intro was cool, very weird, and then it leads into the
Mhm.
what got me into this was the guitars. The intro with the kind of a weird guitar, and then it leads straight into the crazy guitars on that second song, Malfunctional Minds. This was awesome. This was it gave me a vibe of a bunch of different bands all like wrapped into one. I felt a little bit of like Alter Beast, a little bit of uh,
that bass like intro on Malfunctional Minds instantly gives me Archspire.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's who I thought of. And you don't have like the chaos drumming that you get with Archspire, not near as fast, but the guitars are definitely there in speed. And I mean the drummer, he gets speedy too, but yeah, just got those vibes, man. But yeah, it's just balls through the wall tech prog in one, just extreme like tech prog. It's really cool.
Yeah. I'd say for me, the best songs for me were probably going to be Malfunctional Minds, maybe Lost Continent. City of Glass was cool. I just felt it was a little long, and it seems like they have a prologue and an epilogue tracks surrounding it. So it feels like the album, the EP or album, whatever you want to call it, is kind of surrounding this one song, which makes sense because it is 9 minutes long. But this whole album, Enter the Void, crazy, fun. If you love complex, cool guitars, check it out. It's awesome. Yeah,
absolutely.
Enter the Void.
And that cover is like super badass looking too. I love that, dude. It's just like this weird figure, like looks malformed and shit, peeking through an opening of something. I don't know. It's just really awesome. Definitely dig it.
And this other album he sent us, I also very much enjoyed this. This is the new album, a band called Dripped, and the new album is called Utopia of Euphoric Envisionment. This was awesome. It felt like this band's sound somewhere rides the line between slam and brutal death metal with like regular death metal, because it has that slammy brutal death vocals, just the straight gutturals, but the instruments seem to teeter somewhere between like just regular modern death metal and brutal, because it doesn't go the full punchy grindiness of brutal death metal, and doesn't do like really the grittiness of slam, but you can, because the production's so good, you can actually distinguish every individual part, which I like. I really enjoyed this. And I was listening to this right before, because I was trying to catch up on everything right before the podcast. Because my thinking was, all right, I'll listen to a couple of songs, just get a vibe for it. But I ended up listening to the whole thing, because as soon as the song ended, the next one started, I was like, oh, I gotta listen to this, because each one draws you in. Like a Surreptitious Lucidity is track number 2. It's like I had to listen to it. It's like, all right, I'll move on. But no Exodus of Indoctrinate starts like, I gotta keep going. Stagnant Insurrection. It's a great short EP. I recommend it. This and I have them pulled up here in Bandcamp. They are from Australia. Check them out. And also, so I see there's some.
What's the band name again? I was going to check if they're on Spotify. Drip.
They are. Right. They are on Spotify. The band's called Drip, and that's one thing I'm not a big fan of the name, but everything else is cool. The logo's cool. The artwork is cool. The sound is cool. Bandcamp has some recommendations based off this, which some of these I don't agree with. Like it has Fulci on here as a recommendation, Emasculator, George Collius, like a little bit. The one that I think sounds the most like them, if anyone's heard of this band and wants a band somewhat similar, Devangelic. If you like Devangelic, you'll probably like these guys. A little bit more of a modern death metal sound as opposed to brutal. But check it out. It's awesome. Thank you, Sean.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it for the weekly playlist, huh?
Yep. Should we move on to metal news?
Beep, 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 beep.
Metal news.
Let's do it.
So I don't have much metal news except for a tour announcement. I feel like I have already talked about it before, but just in case I want to bring it up. Because I guess I didn't realize it's coming close. And now that I'm familiar with all the bands, because we reviewed one of these bands last week, um, that is the tour with Septic Flesh coming through Lawrence, Kansas,
Oh.
being supported by Voltimus, which I'd also found out. So it is a super group. It features David Vincent of Morbid Angel and Terrorizer as the bassist and vocalist, Blasphemer from Mayhem fame, and then also features
Hmm.
Flo Monure, the drummer from Cryptopsy. So it's a
Ooh.
stacked band.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. What's her name?
Voltimus. Imagine the word Ultimus, but with a V instead
Oh,
of a
okay.
U.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
And then their opener is Ex Dio, which we
Oh, the one
reviewed
that we
last week.
just. Yeah. Okay.
Which I do need to add a slight correction to last week. I said it was the lead singer Cataclysm is the singer of this band. That is correct. However, apparently the entire band Cataclysm is in this band.
Really?
Yes.
Is it like former members or the current?
No, it's all the current are in this band plus one extra bass member. Like it's the
okay.
two guitars, the singer, the drummer, and then they have some random bassist.
Wow.
This
Maybe
band.
it's the random bassist project. Maybe he's
Well,
like, I'm not joining Cataclysm. You're joining XDO.
Well, that's the thing. I was like, I don't understand, like, because this is apparently XD has been around for a while. They have like 4 albums, I want to say.
Huh.
Why don't you just make this like a series of Cataclysm in general? I don't understand why. If you're all into this idea, why don't you all just like,
That's crazy. That's got to be a ton of songs between the two bands.
yeah?
Damn.
Unless the bassist is like, no, I got a new idea for this new album, and he's just the mind behind
Yeah.
it all.
Yeah, maybe. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a cool tour to go to. There were some bands that were announcing new albums that coming out. Oh, Death Heaven is teasing a new album this year.
Ooh, I seen that updated their photo.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
It has me somewhat excited, but somewhat like, okay, which Death Heaven are we gonna get? I'm a
Yeah, I
little
know.
hesitant on that.
Don't really know with that band. Huh. That'll be interesting.
Because what's your opinion on Infinite Granite, their newest album, where they went full shoegaze?
I don't think I listened to it, man. Was he doing like cleans?
Yeah,
Or
the
was
whole
it
out.
screams
So
with shoegaze?
there was zero screams, and they literally stripped all black metal to where it was just a shoegaze album.
Wow.
And it wasn't bad. What irked me was this isn't the Death Heaven I fell in love with. Like we already have shoegaze bands, and I guess technically we already had black gaze bands at that time, but Death Heaven is what kind of introduced me to it and kind of brought black gaze to more people. So
Black
I don't
gay
know.
bands?
Black gaze. Like shoegaze, black metal and shoegaze.
Oh, okay.
No, not black gaze.
No, sorry.
It's like if you're a hockey fan. Yeah, I'm really a big fan of Blackhawks.
Oh, you like Blackhawks? I love the Blackhawks. Funny. Anyways,
Yeah.
so it's a gamble on what Def Heaven we're gonna get, I guess.
Mhm.
Last I checked them out, man, was gotta be that I can't even remember the name of the album now. I know I have a vinyl, and that was like
Is it the black one?
yeah, I think I
New
was living with
Bermuda?
you at the time. Yeah, New Bermuda, that's it. And I actually liked that one. But wasn't that the follow-up to Sunbather?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I did like New Bermuda. I just felt like I felt a little it was still good, but I was let down because I liked Sunbather so much, and it was still a little different. It had heavier parts, but then there's also songs that were a lot. Because there's only 4 tracks on the entire album, and they're all super long. And there's just a
Yeah.
lot of like the weird shoegaze parts, which I don't mind. I just wish there was some breaks. Like they don't need to be this long. If I want to hear the heavy parts, let me maybe separate them a little. I don't know. But I don't know. The more game as the album gets older, I kind of do appreciate it more. And I actually ended up liking the album afterwards, "Ordinary Corrupt Human Love," to the point where I actually bought that as well.
Mm.
Because I felt like that was a more refined sound of New Bermuda, kind of stuff I loved about Sunbather, stuff I loved about New Bermuda. I thought, and just a little bit more of a mature, in almost like an indie film vibe, with Ordinary Corrupt Human Love. Then Infinite Granite came out. I was like, I can't. This is the direction they're going. I can't.
I still haven't checked it. I don't even think I gave it a listen at all that I remember. But I just can't help but think of the show that we watched them at and seeing them have such a tough time for the crowd, receptiveness.
Yeah.
Like, that sucked. Like, it sucked
Mm-hmm.
just watching it. And, they were just getting straight boos, like I've never seen before, any band, and to the point where the vocalist has to apologize and, hey, sorry, I know we don't typically we may not fit into this bill, but please just bear with us. And I was just like, holy shit, man. This is
Yeah,
crazy. There's guys
was
like
a
right
bad
by us
feeling.
who are just like, fuck you suck. I was just like, come on, dude. This is ridiculous. You're literally booing a band.
Yeah,
Who are you?
That was a shitty experience because I saw them with Between the Buried and Me, and I felt like that bill fit them better because it was all just a bunch of weird bands. It was Intronaut,
Yeah.
The Kindred, Between the Buried and Me, and Deaf Heaven. Is like Deaf Heaven. That's when I fell in love with them, just because I felt like everyone just kind of stood there and watched. It was just mesmerizing. It was cool, but something about them with the Lamb of God crowd and a bunch of people who just
Yeah.
had their taste and was like fuck everything else kind of vibes. Like
Yeah.
that sucked for them and felt bad.
Yeah, the Midwest Lamb of God, Missouri fans really showed up to that one.
Yeah. Even though a lot of the people, the shithead assholes who were booing them the entire time, as soon as Anthrax came out, they were complaining about moshing and then ended up leaving their spots anyway. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, what the hell? And they literally have a song called Cotton and Mosh.
yeah.
It's like,
I remember then they opened with it too.
Yeah, I think so. I remember it being huge.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you expect, dude? Funny.
Speaking of between the Buried and Me, I want to say they announced a tour too. They're performing it's a Coma Alaska tour. They're performing Coma Eclectic and Alaska all the way through, and they are being supported by Protest the Hero. So I think that'd be a little cool prog concert.
Yeah, that would be sick. Did you ever get any more information on your availability for Michigan Cannibal Corpse?
Not yet. I'm gonna have to. I start next week.
We're weeks away. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I start next week, and I'll probably get more information. Because also my wondering is, usually you have to have like a roster, and you have to have everything planned out. And if they didn't know if they were, because this happened before, they weren't expecting me to be there so soon or something like that. It might not be on the roster. So we'll see. We'll see how things pan out. But at the same time, my role in the unit will be somewhat important. So I don't know. I don't know my availability right now.
That's fair.
I'm almost chalking it up as if I can't go, and I'll see if anything changes, kind of thing.
Yeah, we're not weeks away. That was really dumb. We're actually like months away. You got time.
What we don't have a lot of time for is, I think it's tomorrow or the day, sometime this week or next week. Niall's coming with 6 Feet Under.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing a lot of the 6 Feet Under videos surface. Seems like he's pulling some old Cannibal out.
Yeah, I was wanting to bring that up. He's actually His voice is sounding a lot better. He's actually performing old Cannibal stuff. From what I understand, he's doing Hammer Smash Face, and
Mhm.
I haven't seen the other. I've only seen the Hammer Smash Face songs, but he sounds good. The only thing is, so his voice sounds better. He looks like shit, but his voice sounds good. He looks like a hippie Santa Claus now.
Yeah, yeah. I know people were saying so Chris Barnes is Rastafarian now.
Well, apparently he's
That's
sober
immediately
now,
what I thought of too. Oh, really?
which I think maybe that
Wow.
has to do with his vocals. Like he's not smoking all the time like he was. Um, yeah, I don't know how him being sober makes him age 20 years, looks wise, but
I don't know. Nothing to take the edge off, really gets to you. Yeah, I saw that, man. It seems like he's getting really good receptiveness too. Like crowds are going crazy. I mean, whenever they kicked into Hammer Smash Face, like the band sounded super badass even. I was like,
Mhm.
damn, dude, these guys sound killer.
Because they do also have Jack Owen, the original Campbell guitarist.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, that would be interesting to see them.
Hmm.
Hmm. That'd be a tough one though.
Yeah, because I want to say it is like a Wednesday. I think it's either I don't. It might be tomorrow, but it might be next Wednesday. I want to say it's like in the middle of the week at
Yeah,
Pops.
that sucks. Hmm. I haven't been to that venue in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I can't even remember
The
what the
Periphery
last one
show?
was. No, I went
Is that
to
the last
something
one?
after that. I want to say because I want to say the Periphery show was the first show I ever went there.
Yeah, me too.
I want to say I went and saw that was the Between and Burying Me and Death Heaven show. And instead of, because I remember when we saw Periphery, they were in that corner.
Hmm.
For Between and Bury Me, apparently there's like a left, and that's actually like almost like Beaumont Club style
Like a
stage and
bigger center
setup.
stage.
Hmm. Like
That's cool.
it had it almost had exact Beaumont Club style setup, except
Oh,
for
wow.
the right was all like that whole open area with the bar, and then the other side stage and the bathrooms and stuff.
Huh. That's sick, man. That was such a sick show. Seeing
Oh yeah,
Periphery there.
and it was cool that was on that smaller stage, which didn't feel
Yeah.
small at the time.
No, it felt packed. Like I just remember when Born of Osiris kicked in, like people did not fuck around with that pit anymore. Like it
Hmm.
was jumping. Like it was just like a wave of people jumping. It was
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah, and that was after
Good
their
times.
big epic album, Tomorrow We Die Alive. So they just
Yeah.
introduced cleans. Wasn't as weird at first, but it was still cool. I remember
Yeah.
even the keyboardist was even doing some crowd surfing as well. Like
Yeah.
it was awesome.
It was, dude. It was absolutely killer. Killer show. One
That
for the
letter
books.
circus almost got a circle pig going, or at least tried.
Yeah. They tried so damn hard. He
Some
seemed
some
very pissed off.
some asshole laughed during 12-foot ninja. It was just a crazy, crazy night.
Yeah, yeah. It was like a passionate, like happy laugh.
That's
That was the first time I've ever like laughed like that I couldn't control my emotions. I was so pleasantly surprised by the sound, the tunage just like made me giggle. I was like, "Oh, this is so badass." Then everyone's turning around looking at me like I'm an asshole, laughing at the band. It's like, "Oh, this sucks."
didn't we also I think it was either me or you, didn't one of us put like our cups on the ground and it got spilt and then it ended up turning the floor
Yeah,
all slick?
yeah, I think so. And like people just start falling left and right in the mosh pit. Oh, that's so funny.
Was it a spit cup or was it like a drink cup that had ice in it? I can't
I don't
remember.
think I was. Yeah, I don't think I was dipping at the time. So I think I was still in the vapes. I think it was probably like a drink with ice or some shit, or maybe even a beer. But yeah, and everyone just like as soon as it spills, they all like look to like they all realize they're stepping in a puddle like immediately. And I just like look back with them, just like, oh shit, where did that come from? It's funny. Man, the cleanup for that shit's got to be terrible. They
Yeah.
probably have to mop so much. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
Yeah.
Probably a disaster.
And think of all the stuff that it just gets left behind and found.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, probably phones. Probably so
Mhm.
many phones.
I've
Yeah,
I've
that's
lost a
crazy.
wallet at a concert, and I still wonder where that's at. Actually, no, someone found it and stole it, and then ended up buying gas with it.
Oh. Wow. So they had to have gotten caught, right? Is it the
No,
age
they
of
never got caught.
cameras?
We just can't. We just called the
Oh man.
bank and closed it because I didn't know someone found it. So this was a
Mhm.
long time ago. It was when Blink 182 originally reunited, and they were touring with Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco. But I was supposed to be working at a factory, so I called in, but I told my parents I was at work. So I snuck off with my friends to this concert. Crowd surfed. At one point though, I was crowd surfing and the crowd kind of like pushed me up into where I was like upside down. And I was
Oh
like,
shit.
and they corrected me. And then I think my wallet fell out at that point. But yeah, it was
Oh, that
gone. It's
sucks.
like, fuck, lost my wallet. All right, whatever, no big deal. Because I think it was like a duct tape wallet that I made myself. Whatever, no big deal. I'll just get new
Mm.
cards, whatever. But then apparently, my parents had access to my bank account, and they saw that I was making purchases in like Northeast Iowa at like
Oh
gas
wow.
stations and stuff. So they confronted me. As like, what happened last night? And I was like, I went to a concert. I called into work, and then I stayed at my buddy Christian's house. And they're like, "Oh, thank you, God. We thought you were sneaking off and partying in Northeast
Oh
Iowa."
geez. Oh man. Driving 10 hours.
Well, I was
Or-
living up in Maryville at the time because I went to Council
oh, okay.
Bluffs at for the show, which is like
Oh, okay.
Central West. Yeah,
Nice. So probably not too far.
yeah. So surprisingly, I didn't get in trouble.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that's good. Yeah, you know what's crazy is like the chain wallet, the only time it's probably purposeful is in a mosh pit when you're crowd surfing. But you
Hmm.
can't bring chains into fucking metal shows. Or like some, I guess. It might be more lenient depending on where you go, but
Yeah, and it's probably also dependent on the show. Like a Cradle of Filth concert, I guarantee there's going to be Jinko pants everywhere and chains and stuff.
yeah.
Like I guarantee they're not going to force that there. But if you go to like a normal show, I can see them be like, "No, you're going to strangle someone with that kind of thing."
Yeah. I just remember like Beaumont Club when I was a kid, going to shows there, or like teenager, but uh, they had a whole security guard come out before, no hand grenades, no guns, no knives, no
Hmm.
blah blah blah, no chain. And I'm just like, God, this is kind of ridiculous, but whatever. Think I had
Can't
a
bring my
chain wallet at the
grenade.
time. Yeah, yeah, I know, right? It's like,
Oh, this
fuck.
was America.
Yeah. What you mean I can't bring my grenade? That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any other metal news you got?
I don't think so, man. Um, no. Oh yeah, like speaking of Cradle of Filth, one last thing. I keep seeing this reel about that stupid song with Ed Sheeran that they supposedly have done. Yeah, Danny Filth has done a song with Ed Sheeran, he claims. They both claim that it's finished, but it hasn't been released yet.
Why?
I don't know. Don't know at all.
This is like
All
I feel like this is the equivalent of when we saw Ed Sheeran in the Game of Thrones episode. Why?
yeah, yeah, good point. Yeah, that never made any sense. I think if they were going to do that cameo, they should have like had him murdered brutally, just
Yeah.
to play fun.
Like from what I understand, like the backstory of like having like that's Aria's in real life, that's her favorite singer, so they surprised her, which that's cool and all. I don't care to see in the episode. It meant nothing. It was just
Yeah.
there. Like have it as like a deleted scene for the DVDs or something like that. I don't care. Like there was
Yeah.
zero point in having
Right.
having that scene. Because weren't they like
Yeah.
Lannister soldiers or whatever?
Yeah, some kind of like random soldier, not important position at all. Just some guys out in the woods, I think. I don't know. I was just like, what the hell is this? I was like, oh, that's Ed Sheeran. Huh. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, apparently him and Danny Felth have a song together. I don't know if it's just like trying to get attention or, I mean, it's what it sounds like to me. I can't imagine it actually sounding good. All I can hear is just her like that ridiculous high scream and
Well, and you're right. I can't think of a reason why they would want him on a song. There's no way the band who created Cruelty and the Beast or Thornography is being like, you know what the song needs?
yeah.
That one guy who sings that one song. Now my sheets now smell like you. I'm in love with your body. We need that as the chorus when you're talking about like vampires and shit.
Yeah, you know that like singer-songwriter ginger guy? Yeah, him.
Yeah.
No way, dude. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's all just the whole attention gimmick thing they're fucking trying. Doesn't build any hype for me.
While we were talking about that, I did just remember I've been seeing some talk. I might just be internet talk in the Mastodon fan group thing, but Mastodon might be building up to a new album. Potentially already written some songs. From what I understand, they're focusing on more darker and heavier material.
That'd be
Since they're
cool.
moving on from Hushed and Grim, which I think they've kind of, based on when I saw them, it seems like they have kind of understood like Hush and Grim was a cool experiment, but the fans aren't as that receptive to it because they only played 2 songs from it. Everything else was their old stuff, as opposed to
Oh
when we
wow.
saw them, they were only playing mostly new stuff with a few old songs here and there. And it seemed like for a while that's what they were doing with their set list, like whatever the new album was, heavily on that, a few new old songs here and there. So I'm wondering if they're kind of catching on, like, you know what, maybe we should lean more back into what the fans kind of prefer, kind of thing. So hopefully this new album it
That would be
does.
sick.
Yeah.
I really like the Floods of Triton single they came out with.
Yeah. Yeah. If they could do something like
I thought
that,
that was
but
cool.
wasn't that like a leftover B-side though from the Mastodon era?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Um, I mean, probably. I could hear that, or I could see that, but I don't know. I think it would be cool to, I wouldn't be mad if that's on the new album.
Yeah.
That's one thing with bands. It's like, I always think of like Aborted's Infinite Terror. Dude, I love that song. I think it's an absolute hit, and I was so shocked that it wasn't on this last album. I mean, it doesn't have any of the features, that was around the whole theme of Volta Horrors, but I think it's such a big hit for them. Like, if I see them live and they don't play that, I would be upset.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but man, I've really jammed that one a lot after it came out.
Speaking of that, when does that tour start?
I think that Oklahoma date passed.
Already?
Yeah, I want to say. I can check real quick. Take a gander. And that was, what was the lineup on that? It was
It was
insane.
aborted. Stabbing got kicked off. Ingest or not kicked off, they dropped off. Ingested, Peeling Flesh. I want to say there was one more.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Set to kick off February 13th and ends
Okay.
on March 15th. So it's coming up.
Yeah.
I'll see
That'd be
if I
something
can
that'd be
find
interesting.
find the date here. What'd you say Oklahoma's the closest?
It's either Oklahoma City or Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, Tulsa 219. February 19th. Yeah, man. So like a month away.
Until the week
That
is
would be sick. That would be so cool. And we would get to see Ingested with a replacement vocalist.
said February 19th.
Yeah.
That's a Wednesday.
Oh my gosh. For Tulsa, Oklahoma? No way.
Well, for me, it's only an hour and a half away.
Yeah, it's not bad for you, but I think I'm out on that one.
Yeah, because
Unless
it's
I was,
already 3 hours for you to get to me.
yeah, and I would have to take the next day off of work, I'm sure,
And probably the
just
day
to
of work.
recoup. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, probably. So, sad face. Oh well.
Well, I think that's all we got for metal news, unless you have anything.
Nope, I don't think so, man.
I gotcha. So let's talk about some dad stuff. Um,
Alrighty.
I have I had a couple topics, but the one that's fresh in my mind, it's something me and Danny have talked about a long time ago, and I was thinking about it again today. As a parent of multiple, what would you say is your favorite age?
Hmm, that's so hard for me because I feel like I really love watching the stages as they grow. Like I really do. Like I have things that I love about each age, but man, to pick a favorite, I just don't know. Like Stella, she's getting to where she scales the kitchen chairs, climbs up and onto the kitchen table, just starting to compile words together to say stuff. Like Lex always calls her Stella Jude because that's her middle name. But so, like, Honey is our dog, and so she'll like go to tell Honey to do something or to hear Honey, but she'll say here, Honey Jude, because she's not connecting, the middle name usage. But so like stuff like that is so adorable. Just seeing her run around and get interested in stuff is super adorable. But I also love them when they're like a year or under and they just, napping all the time, and especially like chest naps and they're just like drooling on your chest. Oh, I'm all for it, man. I love that. Love that too. But then like Lux, she's 4, super smart. And today at daycare, she just made this drawing that's like pretty intricate for her age. It's like a stick figure with a face. She drew the nose, a smile, eyes, and so it's crazy because like I don't sit down and draw with her a lot, but just seeing the progression happen is just really cool. Um, so yeah, man. I mean, I just don't know if I could pick a favorite. I like. I'm always anxious though for them to get older. Like it's bittersweet. I'm anxious for them to get older for the ability to do more stuff together and new things, for them to try out. Um, but it's also sad to see them grow, because they're not going to be little anymore. And you're only going to be
Mhm.
able to hold them for so long. And, they get super excited when I get home from work. And like one of the first things is they want to climb on my shoulders and they want me to run back and forth from the kitchen down the hall. And when they're on my shoulders and, basically just act like they're an airplane and stuff, but like they just get a kick out of it. But like Lux is getting to the weight and age now where she's pretty big when she's up there. And so, I'm like running slower, but it's super fun, man. But so like stuff like that, I just got to soak that up while I can. And I'm, trying, but I know someday, you know, won't be able to do that all the time. So yeah, man,
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it all. It's hard to pick a favorite age for me. What
What
about you?
about well, yeah, for me I have a couple different ages that are I would say are my favorite. If, my first favorite age, it's always been right after the year old. I feel like that's a golden zone where they are still like you said, they're still learning their words, but they're find almost everything funny. They're super starting to actually be able to be sweet with you, actually like give you hugs and stuff, and maybe say I love you at some point. So yes, that sweet mark between 1 and 2, I love. Theo's almost there. He's already kind of getting to that part where I can get him to laugh, and it's infectious. It's you love it kind of stuff. But also, I'd say also Annie's at 6 right now, and I actually kind of love this age. The fits have kind of gone down a lot more. The only issue is
That's
like
cool.
listening, but at the same time, fits have gone down. But also just like seeing the more of her own personality and creativity kind of come out. I appreciate more like her
Yeah.
artwork. Like it used to be just like a bunch of like splotches and a bunch of scribbles, and like she would hand me some. It's like it looks like a schizophrenic nightmare. She's like, "Look, I drew us." It's like,
Yeah.
ah. But nowadays, it's like I was shocked when I went to the school and they had the class artwork, and she drew a Frankenstein. And I was like, "Oh, my daughter drew that! Like, this is great."
Wow.
And so we got to keep
That's
it.
awesome.
But apparently, my mother-in-law, we are apparently what we promised her is like, "Oh, that sucks." So I looked at Annie, he's like, "Hey, Annie, could you make me one?" And she's like, "Sure." So she made me a werewolf one. It's like just like it. It's like, man. So actually seeing
That's
her
cool.
that creativity I love, and then also actually being able to have conversations with her a little bit. And it's that age where
Yeah.
she's kind of learning and understanding, almost like an actual like growing to be an actual person that I love, and I love it. And it's that sweet age because I know at some point she's going to grow to hate me, just like all teenagers do. So I feel like that bond might
Mhm.
break a little bit. So right now it's that soaking up that sweetness at age 6. 4 is also good. Jensen, me and him have always kind of butted heads a little bit, but he's at an age where we're getting along more, roughhousing a little bit more as boys because I wasn't ever really expecting a boy since, well, all my siblings, they all have 2 girls. Same on my wife's side, all girls. First one with a boy. Just don't really know how to be a boy dad, but him being 4 is like fine getting into that. So I'm loving that. Yeah, for me,
Nice.
1, 6, and 4 is kind of coming up. Annie's 4, I wasn't too much of a fan of because that's when the fits kind of started happening. Jensen still has the fits, but it's not as bad as what Annie's were. I think it's just the
Yeah.
gender thing. Yeah. For me, it's those ages so far are the sweet spots for me.
Yeah, dude, that's super fun, man. Those are all, I can imagine, when she gets older, just how much better it can get. But like 4, it's funny because like for Lux, it's also like a super sensitive kind of like from 3 to 4, she's kind of had like just super sensitive moments. So like, cry really easy when
Mm-hmm.
Stella like clearly just tries to aggravate her on purpose. Just walks up, takes one of her toys, and then she'll be like, ah, and like playing with it right in front of her, intentionally trying to piss her off. And Lux will just be like, and like just freak out. And so like sometimes I just like look at her and like I don't laugh at her, but I like it makes me laugh at times because I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's just so ridiculous. But you know, it it's just part of it. It's fun though, man. It is for sure.
On the flip side, what would you say are the ages? What ages do you are like the phases of the ages? Would you say is the I wouldn't say that you hate the most, but is the most gets on is like I can't wait till this phase is over. Do you have any
Mm,
ages or phases like that?
I mean, diapers can get to be like that, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
once they start, Stella's just now starting to take up interest in going on the potty, which is awesome. She just turned 2 in December, so I feel like we're kind of ahead with her than we were with Lux at that age, if I remember right. But that's, I think, always a good phase to get out of just because diapers are diapers. And when they're smaller, it can almost be more problematic for like blowouts and shit like that. And it's just like, oh, geez. And then also, another part when they're smaller is like lugging around the carrier.
Mm-hmm.
It changes up your travel drastically just because it's like lugging around a hefty suitcase or comparable to anyways, but it's just I don't know, man. uh for when they're younger, yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest that I look forward to getting away from. I don't know, trying to think. And then whenever they get older though, they kind of get into stuff on their own. And
Mm-hmm.
so you have to, not that I look forward to that stopping, but it's just like definitely keeps you on your toes. But trying to think, Stella just had something earlier tonight that I was just like, oh shit. What was it? Oh, so I have a couple holes in my drywall, and we had like a curtain like hanger thingy that just fell out of the wall over time because the drywall anchors just failed, and it just like basically made these two giant holes over time next to the window. And so today on my way home from work, I picked up some the drywall like putty, like a tube, almost like a tube of toothpaste that you just stick to the wall and can squeeze in and kind of
Mhm.
fill it, and then wait for it to dry, whatever, paint it. Anyways, so I'm doing that, and Lux was interested, and she wanted to do it, and so I was like, all right. And so I showed her how to do it, and I was like, you got to squeeze the tube, push it against the wall. I just kind of showed her how to do it, and then I let her try. And then Stella comes up, and she's like, oh, I want to do it. And she literally just takes a finger of the goop and sticks it in her mouth. And I was like, oh shit, what are you doing? And I just like immediately like yanked it. I was like, oh my gosh, do not eat that. So yeah, that age is it just keeps you on your toes, man.
I
But
got you.
and then I think it was like 2 weeks ago, for the first time. Thankfully, Lux was never like a poop toucher or anything. Didn't get handsy in the diaper after she made Dookie. But Stella the other day was in her natural poop corner and over there for a while, and so I knew she was, you know, dropping deuce. And then so I just like kind of watched TV, and then I look back over and I see her like looking at her finger like this. And I was just like, oh God, what did you do? And she's like, like had this confused look on her face. I was like, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. And yeah, sure enough, she went in there to feel what feel what it was, I guess. You're just like, do not touch that, you don't touch that. So she hasn't done it since, thankfully. But man, that freaks me out because, like, I've heard horror stories of kids just making messes in houses doing that shit, and I'm just like, oh my God, no, I would lose it, dude. That would suck. But yeah, did you ever have any of that?
I have not so much like grabbing the poop. What I always found aggravating is that once that age where they're more understanding of how to move their arms and legs and stuff, and just like when you try to lay them down to change their diaper, they just have to like contort and just flop around everywhere. And it's when they have that
Mhm.
poopy diaper, and they just that's when they
Oh
want to start
man,
doing all the axe kicks on the
yeah,
diaper.
like raising their back, and yeah,
Hmm.
that's
Yeah,
like, oh
that's
geez.
and then like one quick axe kick, and then their entire back, their leg, and their heel gets in their toes, and it's just like I already cleaned all your butt. Now I got to wipe you all again. That part, that's when it comes to poop. That part is aggravating. But I don't know. For me, it's the ages where Theo's at this age now, where Danny showed me a TikTok. They call it the uh, I don't think it's the oh shit phase, but it's pretty much the age where they're crawling everywhere and they can get into everything. So you just constantly have to like, oh no 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 no, and then you had to pick them up, take them somewhere else. Constantly doing that with Theo, because we like to hang out downstairs in the living room a lot. He'll either try to go up the stairs. He usually gets about one or two steps and is like, nope, nope, that's the limit. You're like, you can learn it, but not right now. But
Oh
also,
man. Yeah,
yeah, it's
stairs and kids, and
oh
like
yeah,
once they get
it's
to walking, man, it's like, oh shit. If you're in a house with a stair set, it's like, damn it, my work's cut out for me tonight.
yeah, it's scary. And then also just he likes to explore a lot. And my father-in-law likes that there's this coffee table right in the middle of the downstairs TV room. He likes to put all his books on there and like his Bible, and he always has like these notes and like stuff in there. But little Theo, he wants to explore. So if anything is in reach, he will try to grab it. He will throw it on the ground. He's ripped out pages, ripped out the notes
Oh,
and stuff.
jeez.
So today I took all the books and I put them right in the middle and I stacked them up all on top to where it was perfectly dead center to where no matter what he couldn't get. So for about 10 minutes he was just doing laps around the coffee table
Trying
just
to,
to see what angle he could to get to it.
that's hilarious. Man. Yeah, both of my girls adopted to scaling the kitchen chairs and table like crazy. It's like they started walking, and that was one of the things. It's like Stella has definitely been the climber though, more so than Lux. Lux kind of did it more as she got older, and but man, Stella has just been wanting to scale and climb ever since she started walking. It seems like,
Yeah.
and she's fallen a couple times, but man, it's just you hate whenever you hear them fall, and then it's just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
it can be scary, but yeah, man,
Yeah.
I don't know.
The primary age, though, I always dread is the 3-year-old phase, because people always say the terrible twos. I feel like the
Mhm.
threes are actually the terrible threes instead of the terrible twos, because I feel like that's when that
First kind
it's
of attitude, I think, is
mhm.
when that kicks in.
And I feel like that's also when the emotional fit throwing kind of starts, and they just start. That's when I don't think terrible twos is a real thing, because twos I felt like was pretty much almost as good as the 1-year-old phase. I
Yeah, I
feel like it
really like
all
to.
starts in threes. Threes is
Mhm.
I feel like the hellion phase. That's where they start, like you said, they start developing an attitude. I feel like that's just when emotions kick in and they just don't know how to
Yeah.
process and handle it. So you have to navigate that. It's threes for Jensen and Annie, where I felt like we're equally the same. It's a lot of fit throwing, a lot of headaches, a lot of just stress. But since they're all out of that, it's not too bad. Jensen still throws his fits, but we have one more to go through the threes, and well, we're pros of this by now, but still not looking forward to that 3 mark. But yeah.
Yeah, man. Fun. Fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um. Anything else to add on the favorite ages and least favorite ages?
I don't think so.
All right.
I think that's pretty much it.
All right. So we're gonna talk about metal stuff, and I know we had talked about some, but I'm gonna switch it up on you actually even more. I was
All
thinking
right.
about this today. Let's have a little bit like we did with the discussion on the Lords of Chaos. Let's have a metal discussion. See points of view. See if we can might not come to agreement, but at least explain our views on this topic. And it's this topic I see a lot of metal people fight over, or just elitists like put forth their opinion on it.
Huh.
And it centers around one band and whether they're metal or not.
Oh boy. Okay.
And that is Ghost.
Hmm.
Whether Ghost is metal
Good
or not.
topic.
What what say ye?
I mean, I think they are metal because they're not, well, I don't know. Are they on the radio? Like,
I
are they on
think
98.9 if you go up to Kansas City?
I have no idea. I would
I don't
assume
know
probably
either.
some, maybe. Because I want to say
Maybe.
they did get TikTok famous on a Mary on the Cross song. But even then, I
Hmm.
wouldn't say that would technically disqualify him, because what the headlining band of Mayhem Fest, Bad Omens, has a couple of TikTok songs that went viral. So,
Yeah. I mean, I think they are metal. They were definitely metal when they started. And I
mm-hmm,
love that. They got riffs, dude. They got really good songs and really catchy songs. Like I'm a fan. Um, a lot of people hate them though, man. I know
mm-hmm.
that. But yeah, I think I would definitely say they're metal.
Okay.
I mean, it is kind of crazy because they're not really heavier than Metallica though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I can see that. Because I would agree, no matter what, I think that at least the first 2 albums you could say are doom metal albums. Like they're
mhm.
that's the vibe. That was the vibe they were going for, especially that first album, like the song like Ritual, Elizabeth, Dawn, was it Conclave? What is it? The
Mm,
second the actual first song, but it's the second track.
Dio something. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that like that.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
so Doom. It's and I understand like people want to hate on it because they're popular and the aesthetic makes it seem like it's going to be like a black metal, but uh if you actually listen to it, it almost makes you think. I've seen the meme. It almost makes you think like Scooby Doo chase music, which I kind of
Yeah.
get, but at the same time, you can't
It's
like
funny.
the music is still there. Like it is doom metal. Like I was trying to back up that argument with because I was listening to some older school doom metal today just to like see and like check bouncing it off of like bands like Cathedral, Pentagram, Trouble. I don't see that much of a difference. Like yeah, the
Hmm.
vocals are a little bit more clean, but if we're gonna say power metal is still metal, just or Iron Maiden, for example. Yes, it's not as flashy as Iron Maiden, but it's still at its core, it's still metal, and especially those early albums are very doom. I think Meliora, there's still a little bit of doom here and there. It felt more rock and hard rockish a little bit. I do feel like there was a little bit of transition between that into more of a hard rock style or opera
Hmm.
rock. A little, I wouldn't say theatrical rock, I guess you want to say, especially
Yeah.
with Prequel and whatever that newer album was. I forget what it's called, Impera or something.
Imperium or not Imperium, is it? I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't either. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's and like, yeah, Iron Maiden. Like, how did that guy get such an easy pass? He's got a crazy vocal style. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's belting it. Like, it's power metal, but it's still kind of corny, like,
Yeah.
"Ah!" I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like Ghost kind of has that same kind of corniness, almost like the, Scooby Doo vibe corny, but I don't know. I don't know. They just got a pass from me. I mean, seeing them live totally sold it too. I mean, great performer, man.
Hmm.
I just the show was so interesting to watch, um, and the music was badass live, man. Like,
Hmm.
and I love the riffs of that one album that came out when we were really jamming them back in the day. Um, do 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 do.
Oh, Cerise on Meliora.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Yeah, that whole album kicks ass, man. And then seeing that actually get to late night television was crazy.
Hmm.
And I thought that performance was even a little weird with all the kids and like how he does the thing at the end. I was like, what the? I mean, how would you feel if that was your kid? you know? But I don't know. Anyways, it was uh, interesting, but the music is kick ass, dude. Like the song "He Is," like I just love how it sounds like this, almost like a religious ballad.
Hmm. Yeah, it
But
almost sounds like an actual hymn that you would hear at church almost.
yeah, it's crazy. But um, yeah, I don't know, man. For those reasons, they've always had my interest up until late. Like I don't think I really got into the last couple albums.
Yeah, me personally, I kind of fell off during Prequel because like I felt like that album started off strong. Like the intro Ashes was cool. The whole theme was cool with the whole like kind of going back to the plague kind of vibe ish. Then also Rats. I thought also
Mm,
See the Light was kind of cool. But at the same time, I felt like a lot of and also Dance Macabre, it was more of like a disco vibe ish, but it was still catchy and cool. I didn't mind that. But
hmm.
what what pushed me away with Prequel was the thing about Ghost is it sucks you into whatever world it is. Like it takes you away from reality a little bit. It's a whole let's pretend like this is an actual like inverted pope and like this is his congregation kind of thing. But when they had the lawsuit with all the members that got kicked out about
Yeah, that
who
was weird.
and then bringing that up in songs I felt like
Oh, I
that kind
didn't
of like
realize he did that.
yeah, that was in the prequel album. That's what See the Light is all about. The I many rats I befriended and stuff like that.
Oh,
Like
geez.
bringing up like I don't want to hear about that. I feel like that detaches from the escaping from the reality in the real world and going into whatever world Ghost is if I am trying to detach and I go there and you just bring up this drama that I feel like kills the vibe of what I loved about Ghost.
Yeah.
And but I also feel like you instead of focusing like I wouldn't say focus on heaviness because there was never really heaviness, but there was a little bit like spooky I won't say danger, but at least illusion of like this could be real kind of stuff. But when he kind of add more like the theatrical, almost show tuney kind of singing stuff and vibe, kind of fell off a little bit too. And I felt like it reached even more with that newer album after Prequel. Prequel started a
Yeah.
little bit like with like a rats. Oh wow. I felt like it was a little show
Yeah.
tuney. Still
That is
good, but
weird.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the music definitely did it. The music got less and less heavy though as the
Hmm.
albums went on. That was very noticeable. That album Meliora, like it wasn't as heavy as like their first album or the second, or maybe that was this. I don't know if that's I think it's the third,
Hmm.
but like the first album compared to Meliora, Meliora is just it's not as heavy, but it I think makes up for it in the catchiness and of like it has like more of like a ballad rock kind of vibe.
Hmm.
And so I mean I guess with being that metal ballad, I guess you could say if I'm going to classify it as metal. I don't know. They definitely ride the line though. I'd
Hmm.
say they're rock now, but they used to be metal.
Hmm. Yeah. And even on Melior, I remember they had that one song. Almost had like a classic rock vibe, but it's still, even in the context of the album, it still felt like it fit. It felt like it felt good. It felt like awesome. And that was the song Majesty. Remember that one? Brown, brown,
Yeah,
down, no, no, brown. Like I actually kind of like that because I felt like that was the whole vibe of the entire time, kind of an older metal vibe. But I feel like
right.
now it's like I feel like the oldness has kind of been shed towards more of like newer show tuney kind of style. I don't feel like that old vibes
Yeah.
is there anymore.
Yeah, I think you're right. I just didn't find the music as good, you know? And part of the one of the reasons that really sucked me into Ghost was the tunes, the riffs, dude, and the drums. It was awesome. It was killer. I really
Hmm.
enjoyed it. But I just haven't, you know, in the recent couple albums, at least what I've heard. I think Mariana Cross was the last single that I actually really got into. And that's just because it's so catchy and like it gets stuck in my head once I hear it. Oh, da, 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 Mariana Cross.
I did get back into him for a little bit. I want to say it was last Father's Day, or Father's Day before. Danny and the kids, or is it either Father's Day or my birthday? The kids and Danny got me a it was one of their Ghost EPs. It was a newer one. It was now I need to look it up because I still have it. It had a bunch of covers on it. Uh, Here it is. Phantomime.
Hmm.
Uh, and it does have some cool songs on it. Some of them are most of them are covers. The one that stuck out to me that I really liked was "Jesus He Knows Me," which I guess is a cover of Phil Collins or it's either Phil Collins or Genesis. One of those, same guy, but and it's
Mm-hmm.
about like the televangelists pretending just to manipulate people and get their money, which I felt like
Oh, wow.
perfect Ghost cover to do.
Yeah.
It fits so good. Um, so that got me back into him for a little bit. So I did go back and check out what's the album called now? Impera. It's Impera, which
Oh,
still
okay.
didn't I didn't really still haven't gotten fully into Call Me Little Sunshine. It wasn't bad. Hunter's Moon, Watching the Sky, but other than that, it's not Meliora. It's not um what's the second album called? Now I can't remember. Infestimum. And then
Mm,
now I can't remember the debuts. It Opus
Ritual or
Eponymous.
no? Ritual's the song, I think.
Yeah, Opus Eponymous.
Okay.
And that song we were trying to think of was Conclave con Dio.
That's it.
Conclave con Dio.
Oh yeah, that's right. I always think of queso. Conclave queso.
Yeah. I mean they're still a good band and I wouldn't mind seeing them. I do feel like maybe their success has kind of made them kind of go do some commercial things here and now and then. Like I do see their newest album. It appears to be a soundtrack to their live movie, I guess they came out with, it looks like, called Right
What?
Here, Right Now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Right Here, Right Now, all spelled RITE.
Is that a Bruce Springsteen cover? Or
Well, it
no?
looks it's
I'm thinking of Van Halen, I think.
I'm not
Right
sure,
now.
but I know the cover is actually just the Ghost logo as like a tombstone. Yeah, it's just
Hmm,
it looks like it's just live, live at the Forum.
interesting. Mark that under who gives a shit.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So yeah, I guess I would say they started as metal, but they've definitely swayed to rock now. I don't know.
I,
They're gonna have to do some crazy shit to get my interest again, I think. I just haven't had the interest to delve into them lately.
So, what would you say when it comes to, because obviously there's a bunch of people whenever it gets brought up that Ghost is a metal or I just see it in general get brought up a lot. What do you think is the main driver? Do you think it is people they legitimately don't think they're metal, or is it just anger that this band's popular combined, or is it also, because I'm this way sometimes, I get annoyed when a band's popular and people think this is just what metal is. Like, no, there's more than that. Do you think it's something like that?
I think it's definitely probably some of that, but I also think that it's his vocals. His
Hmm.
vocals are pretty strange in comparison to the music, especially when it was heavier, but I it's strange just in that like they didn't really have a comparable sound, at least that I know of before I heard Ghost. But it oddly worked well together, like his Lucifer, we are here. Like
Hmm.
it's just really cool, along with like the ride in that song particularly. But then it just got weird, like you said, like the rats, like show tuney type shit. Like it's just like ugh. If I heard those vocals, if that was the first Ghost song I had heard, I would hate them, you know. But the I mean, the fact that the older stuff, I think, it makes up for it, but it's definitely still like kind of an obscure singing style. So I think that's a
Yeah.
big part of the hate in why they get it. But
Yeah. Because in all honesty, I don't feel like there's too much. So in comparison with another band, like we review the band Tribulation's new album. I feel like musically there's not that much difference. I feel like it's just that he's not doing the weird gothic vocals. I feel like that's the only difference, and I feel like his vocals almost are more appealing to me than just the South Park lethargic gothic style. And just in my opinion. So I don't know
yeah,
understand why people give Tribulation a pass and other bands like Tribulation, but Ghost is all of a sudden like, no, that's not metal. Fuck that bullshit kind of stuff.
yeah, and I think it's just because they got so popular so quick. So they
Yeah.
got that like commercialism attached to them, and I think people immediately assume they're sellouts and all that kind of bullshit. When a band gets so popular, man, they just
Hmm.
the hate floods in, and so um, I don't know. I think that's definitely part of it. But
Yeah. Because I do know some people even complain about they're just a gimmick band, which I even know a band I love, Origin. They even had a shirt that kind of about it, to where it's had Papa on it, but instead of Papa's face, it had the Origin face, and on the back said no fucking gimmicks since like
Yeah.
whenever the band started. Which
Yeah, I
I mean,
remember
I
that
love
one.
Origin, but at the same time, I don't really care about. I still like Ghost, but at least their old
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, and so like, gimmick bands that there's gimmick bands that have had success, and I mean, it includes Ghost, whether you like it or not, they're a successful band.
Hmm.
Um, Clearly. But, I don't other gimmicks, like, is Slipknot a gimmick band? I guess the mask is a gimmick, right? Or
I don't know, because that's another question I want to ask is like, so what's the line between a gimmick and a theme?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
technically, like, because I even tried to think about that when it came to Origin. Is like, well, so what would be? Because technically, Origin is like space themed a little bit. So, or even Nile's purely Egyptian theme. Is that going to be a gimmick? It's what is the
Yeah.
line between gimmick and theme?
Yeah, well, like in Watain,
Hmm.
like,
Is
are
that a
they a
gimmick or is
gimmick
that the
band?
theme?
Yeah,
Or
I think a Watain show without the theatrics and all the stage setup probably wouldn't look as cool, but it'd still sound cool.
yeah,
But, it's like it sounds super badass, so like they kind of get to do whatever the hell they want on stage, and I think it works well. It's just a great vision for that band, but is I don't know if that's a gimmick or not.
and but even with that black metal in general, especially when they first started off with, if they didn't have that gimmick, would people really even care about black metal at all if they didn't talk about being evil and like some would cut themselves or put like dead animals and stuff or do the whole we're evil as shit stuff? Like that would technically be a gimmick, and if they didn't have that, it's just harsher, denser death metal. So would people
Mm,
have been as interested in black metal at that time if it wasn't for that?
right. Good point. I think a great example of a gimmick or a band taking on a gimmick, sorry, but I'd have to say, um, what's that fucking deathcore Mental Cruelty,
Yeah.
when they donned the weird corpse paint and did that whole
Hmm.
wave. I was like, oh, it had gimmick all over it. It's like,
Hmm.
no, guys, don't do that.
Yeah.
But,
And even I would even say Deicide. Like I love Deicide. I know that this might piss people off, but technically some of his early antics were very gimmicky because he would say like he would burn the upside down cross on his forehead and then say
yeah,
because he would turn 33 in 2000 and he said he was going to kill himself to be like reverse Jesus. And so like the build up to that was he was going to do that. Obviously he didn't, but um, how is that not gimmicky? Like that's I feel like that's the same thing to where he's like, I'm living the opposite of what he did kind of thing. I feel like that's the
hmm,
exact that is a gimmick. That is get you're using a tactic to get more attention and a view of people's can you're somehow affecting people's view of your band purely based on your antics. Which is
yeah,
that a definition of a gimmick, I would say.
yeah. Is Gigi Allen defecating and throwing his feces a gimmick?
At the same time, though, was it also maybe also thinning the crowd? Because who's really going to want to go to a show like that at the same time? But at the
Yeah,
same time, it's also going to bring the more extremist people who want to see the extreme stuff. I don't know.
yeah.
That could go either way. It could be a double edged sword. Because also with Ghost, I remember I read an interview with one of the members. They asked like, so is the gimmick is like, do you really think we're doing this to get more popular? We're singing about Satan and not being but not playing heavy music. You really think we're trying to get popular doing this? It's like it's a good point, especially in those early days. Like you really think a band purely talking about Satan is going to be the most popular band?
Yeah. Well, and usually popular bands, I'd be willing to say that I'm sure a majority of them never saw it coming. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? In their inception days. A, a majority of bands start out like that. So, yeah, man, I don't know. It's it's interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's all I really had about Ghost and that topic. It sounds like we're pretty much in agreement of it.
Yeah, I think
Just
so.
more of a discussion than a debate.
Right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a good question to bring up because all the hate they get. But like I said, man, like I just can't help but observe the undeniable success that they've had. I mean, widespread popularity. It's for a reason.
hmm
They obviously know how to write catchy songs. So
And I feel like they still do tour with metal bands. I want to say the last tour I saw they were on, they were bringing like Mastodon and Amon Amarth. Although this might be an older tour, I don't know. But I remember
mm,
seeing that as like that's awesome. Like even though Ghost is a headliner and they could probably go on tour with Metallica or pretty much anyone at this point who is
mm,
kind of bigger and doing those venues. They're still choosing like bands that people consider real metal.
right, yeah, no doubt. Who did that? Makes me wonder who's open for them when we seen them. Because I think we went and seen them at the pageant or something in
We
St.
saw a
Louis.
random band, didn't we? It was some like uh I want to say it was like a 60s psychedelic themed band, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, kind of like jam rock, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Yeah, because I remember I saw them a second time and they had Carpenter Brut, who's like a electronic theme. It's electronic music, but it's all themed in like 80s uh horror like B B horror movies and just B movies
Hmm.
in general from the 80s, but slight horror themed. It was weird.
Huh. Yeah, that does sound weird. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I like can hardly remember who opened for him when we saw him.
I don't remember the
I
name
just
at all.
remember I remember seeing the people wearing like flared jeans and shit. Looked real vintage, but
I want to say even wasn't one of them sitting in a stool as well,
maybe,
if I remember
yeah,
right.
maybe, yeah. I don't know. But I think we got there late, so I think we only caught like the second opener, maybe. I
Hmm.
think it was maybe a 3 band bill, and I think we missed the first one, walked in on the second,
Hmm.
and then it wasn't, long, and then Ghost came on.
That
But
was a good show.
it
That
was, man. I
they
think
even
we
had
seen
the
him at the perfect
communion.
time. Yeah,
And didn't they
yeah,
say
that was
Izzy
cool.
Hale was one of the nuns?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, that issued the uh, grape juice or whatever, whatever they chose. But yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. That reminds me, I know different topic, but Imperial Triumphant does something similar and makes me want to see them. And I think you should go with me if we ever are able to see Imperial Triumphant. They do something similar, but instead of like having nuns do it, they do a baptism in or a communion with champagne bottles, and they just pop them open and spray the crowd, like and just like drink
Oh
kind of
wow,
stuff. So I think that would be cool.
that was cool. I'd be like, no, me again, me.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I'm fucked up. Oh, do me. I'm only 18. Ah.
yeah, that's our ghost talk. Anything else to add about Ghost?
I don't think so, man.
I
It's a good
gotcha.
way to ruin the death metal daddy rapport. Oh.
Yeah. Ghost, our conclusion, they're still metal, not like death metal. Obviously not death, or at least they started off as like a doom metal, like I would say like a 70s themed doom metal band.
Mhm.
That was just for the modern era. And then obviously they've kind of progressed more towards hard rock and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they started off as a doom metal band. I would say our conclusion is, would you concur or do you have any other thoughts on that?
I would concur.
Okay.
Would Ghost ever be opening for Dying Fetus or vice versa? No, probably not. But would they? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were to go on a headlining tour with Mastodon.
Yeah.
You know,
In
wouldn't
fact, I
be
want to
surprised.
say I even saw a couple of years ago they were opening for Iron Maiden. So it's like they are embraced by metal musicians and they seem to want to play with metal bands. So I don't see any issue
Yeah.
with that. Um, we're not gonna really give elitist takes when it comes to Ghost. In my opinion, we're pretty.
Yeah.
I'm open to them. So
Yeah.
yeah, that I think that's it for us this week.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. My name's Josh Allen because I have to talk about what a fucking stud that dude is, man. Have you been
Hell
catching up on
yeah.
the football?
I only watched 2 games this past weekend, and it was the Chiefs Texans game. I was just pissed off, so I didn't watch the game after that. Then I did watch I didn't watch all of it, most of the Ravens Bills game. That
Dude,
was awesome.
it was a show, man.
Great game.
It
And
was, dude.
yeah, I think this might be Buffalo's year. If it's not Buffalo's year, I'll be sad because that would probably mean it'll be a three-peat. No, I don't want to live in a world where it's a three-peat for the Chiefs. Any other team can have a three-peat, not the Chiefs, not the
I
Raiders, not the Chargers.
I think I mean I gotta go with KC, man. I think we got a shot, but it's undeniable that Buffalo is definitely a top competitor this year. And I mean they were last year too, but this year, dude, holy shit. I mean, they look scary. I mean, they're there to play some fucking football. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that this AFC Championship game is going to be more intense than the Super Bowl. I think whatever teams make it through the Super Bowl, it definitely has the potential to be a one-sided game. I think if Chiefs get through to face the Commanders, it could be one-sided. If Chiefs get through to play the Eagles, maybe not so much. But I mean, ultimate interest is the game this weekend, AFC
Yeah,
Championship, dude. It's gonna be crazy.
I would say because I talked a little bit about this at work. I think the Bills are the will be no matter what out of everyone who's left. The Bills is the hardest team Chiefs will have to play because from what I've
Hmm.
seen, Chiefs have a great run defense. So I wanted the Bills to win because yes, Lamar is a good quarterback, but ultimately they also rely on Derrick Henry a lot. And I don't think Derrick Henry could really get through the Chiefs' run defense. So that's why I want to see Buffalo win. I feel like they are the perfectly balanced team to be able to knock Chiefs out. Uh, the Commanders, as long as Jalen Daniels can stay consistent, but at the same time, it's a rookie on the big stage going against the Chiefs. I don't see that really panning out very well. And then
Yeah,
Eagles, you have to solely rely on Saquon Barkley because uh, Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's not really a thrower that much. What his past Super Bowl, he threw for 130 yards in a Super Bowl, and he's a quarterback. That's not
yeah.
going to pan out well. It's going to be just like if Ravens played the Chiefs. I don't think it would pan out well.
I just don't want to have to watch the Eagles do 6 4th and 1 conversions with that stupid fucking huddle jump. That pretty much the Bills does too, I guess. It's the Bills and Eagles that are primarily doing that QB sneak, and then
Yeah, the tush
they hike
push.
it and yeah, tush push. Yeah, that's it. God, I hate that move so much. And the one team that like never utilizes it, Kansas City Chiefs. Like we never do that. And I guess it's because they did, and Mahomes got hurt one time doing it. So, but like, dude, the Bills, like you got Josh Allen, 6'4" and like 200 something pounds. Like, dude's a tank, man. And then when he
Hmm.
gets running, like that dude's momentum is just crazy. He's like a
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, but a
Hmm.
badass quarterback.
I will.
Dangerous.
I will say he is known to flop a lot, but at the same time, I feel like he is one of the few quarterbacks who's willing to take a big hit and not care.
Hmm.
Like if
Yeah.
it's going to get him extra yards, he'll try to plow through someone.
I
And
mean,
I,
if he's getting past the defensive line, dude, he's probably running 15, 20 yards. He
mhm,
is known for long runs, man. It's crazy. But then last week, Jalen Hurts had a 50-yard running touchdown, which is crazy.
yeah,
You know, all these quarterbacks are crazy fast and
mhm.
six scrambling QBs. So I think it's going to be a close match, man. I think we're not going to see as many points scored this next game, but I think it's going to be intense.
I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be almost like I think it's either going to be a blowout one way or the other, or it's going to be just like that game a few years ago where it was the back and forth in the last couple of minutes. I feel like it's going to be one of those kind of games.
Down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To where
I'm
who's
going
going
to
to get the
call.
ball last.
Yeah. I'm going to say, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I think it's either going to be winning by a field goal or by like a point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's going to be super, super close.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dreading it. But yeah, the hype is real, man. No doubt.
Gonna be blasting every time I die the entire time like I did last time.
Yeah.
I had but last time when there was that back and forth, I think I had Buffalo 666 just on repeat. Like, come on, Bills, you can pull this off. Come
Yeah.
on.
I tell you what, man, I did a little playing around on that Underdog sports betting app.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, have you dabbled in the sports betting since it got legalized or anything?
I didn't think it was legal for us until the summer because so this is another annoying political thing. It seems that every liberal thing that got passed in Missouri is now being challenged by the state legislature. So the sports gambling is being contested, minimum wage
Oh,
hike is being contested, and so is the abortion one is being contested.
mm,
So
interesting.
I want to say for Missouri, we're not allowed to technically gamble until the summer. If you're able to do it,
Yeah.
do it. But
I mean,
I have
well,
not.
so the Underdog, well, okay, so my brother, he does there's a different app. He doesn't do Underdog, but I did Underdog. And just because I seen an ad on TV for it and deposited money and like $15, not even a lot. Well, just for signing up, I got a free $50 bet. And I put $10 down on one bet, $5 down on a different bet, lost those two bets, but then I got that free $50 just for signing up. Put that whole $50 down on a different bet, won $150 off of it, betting on the Bills and Ravens game. So that was pretty cool.
Are you gonna
But
do any parlays or anything like that? Because I had a roommate in ALC who went crazy with he would do multiple bets, but then he would do one crazy parlay to where it was
what's a
like eight.
parlay again?
So parlay is where you have a bet and then you have multiple thing contingents like Jalen Hurts will get this many yards. This person will
Oh,
score the first touchdown. So to where I think you would only bet like $10 or $8. But if you hit his
uh-huh.
parlay, he had like an 8 leg parlay. If you get it, it would be like $800 or something like that because it would just keep like increasing his payback thing. So he would have like a main bet
Nice.
this team will win, and a secondary bet like this with all these parlays attached to it.
Yeah, so like Underdog's really similar in that it's almost like all kind of parlay things. You have to you can pick 2 to like 8 bets and you have like a bet group. And basically those 2 to 8 can be individual players. And so, for instance, I did a 3 player bet and I bet that Josh Allen um, would throw for so many yards and that Derrick Henry would score less than a touchdown. And so, and because I chose that, my stakes got higher because that's not a good odd. You know, Derrick Henry usually scores a touchdown, and I don't think he did. I don't think he did in this one, right?
I don't think so.
I'm trying to remember my bets exactly, but it was something like that. And then I did another one on I don't know, two Bills players. But anyways, um, so like let's say you got a quarterback and you're saying he's going to score lower yards than 200. Well, you can change that 200 to 150, and it's your chances are going to it'll say 1 times 6.2, meaning that it's for like 180, and then you go down to 150 and it's going to go like 2.35 or times 2.35. So like you're betting times that, your earnings times that. So it increases like the riskier you want to get with it. or like the crazier the odds are, I guess. But yeah, man, I was pretty surprised. I was like, damn, maybe this app's actually pretty cool. But that being said, I haven't withdrawn, so I don't know if you can just do the betting, but you can't withdraw. But I mean, I'm probably going to try to withdraw here soon. So it's $150. I mean, that or I'll just put it towards games this weekend. But yeah, man, I was able to use the app and everything. So
Yeah, I'd almost recommend leave it in there until and then just withdrawing it in chunks every now and then because that's what I do with Robinhood now. I don't put any more money in, and any money that I make from a stock, I'll just keep it in there to buy future stocks and so on and so forth. Just using that money to kind of compound, just keep kind of building more kind of stuff is what I would recommend maybe doing because it can be addicting. I know apparently addiction runs in my family, so I try to stay away from certain things that I worry that I could go down. Even when we went to the casinos those 2 times, as soon as you win, it's like, oh, I got to go do it. So I don't want to. When it comes to especially that sports gambling, and also I have terrible luck. Everything I can't think of a bet I won. I can think of a lot I've lost. The one time I bet on a sports game, I bet on the Broncos versus Seahawks Super Bowl, thinking we got in the bag. Best offense in the league, hell yeah. And then sure enough, everyone remembers that Super Bowl. Very first play, Broncos had snap over Peyton Manning's head, safety. And then
wow,
just downhill from there.
damn, that is brutal. Wow, that is crazy. I don't think I remember that one. What year was that?
That
Was
was
that? Oh,
2013.
yeah, okay.
I was working at the prison and I had to work that day because they didn't care. They're like, this is the first time my team has been since 1999. Please. And
Oh,
I
that
think even you were
sucks.
trying to justify. I was like, yeah, man, it's his first time his team's been in. And it's like, no, we don't care. It's like, ah, fuck. So I had to deal with all these chief officers who found out that I was a Broncos fan and bet on the game to come give me shit. And then
That's funny.
also I was working in Three House. So Yancey told all the inmates that I was a Broncos fan and to give me shit. So every time I walked down the hall, they're all yelling, Broncos fucking suck. What's the score, that?
Oh, that's awesome. That's hilarious.
It was a
Damn.
rough night. 'Cause I
Yeah,
remember
I
we
bet.
listened to it on the radio.
Damn, that sucks. I thought that there was like a site you could actually pull up a game, but maybe it was just radio coverage of it.
But we can watch
Well,
it since we were
I
in
mean,
Three House.
yeah, if you're in a, yeah, that's right. If you're in a housing unit though, you'd have the day room TV. Because I remember watching I don't know if it was a playoff game or, I mean, it had to have been a playoff game, but it was a Ravens, maybe Steelers. But I bet someone, I think it was Calio, I bet money on that game. And I was so excited that I won. It was all like $50 or something. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get too crazy into the sports betting. I like to just throw, like, it was literally $15. I was like, I don't give a shit about this. Yeah, let's try it out. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Then I just couldn't believe I got like the $50 reward and you almost get it instantly. So it's like
Yeah.
free money. I was like, damn, that's
I want to
awesome.
say most of them do that so they can kind of guarantee that the people will come. Kind of get that
Suck you in.
yeah, that first hit. Yeah, try to get
Yeah.
you sucked in.
Right, yeah. They're like, oh, you don't want to leave.
Well, you don't want
You're
to
like,
leave all this free money on the table.
yeah. By the way, you can only withdraw $5. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else to add?
I don't think so, man.
All right.
That's it for
Uh
me.
so um that's it for us this week. You can check us out on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok for about 74 more days, possibly. If you still have the app. Apparently, I found this out. So the day that TikTok was down, I deleted it. I was like, all right, TikTok's gone. I don't care because I didn't really care too much about TikTok. I feel like people just get addicted to it. It's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
I deleted it.
I
Well, it came back later that day, but apparently now that's back.
what's
You can't if you delete it, you can't get it back.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. I never had it, so yeah, I was one of the people that just never gave a shit. I just had no interest. my biggest interest in an app like that that's comparable was like, I don't know, 10 years ago. Do you remember Vine?
Yeah. I never got into Vine
Dude,
though.
oh, I loved Vine. I thought it was a great form of comedy, and like people were making killer funny reels. But then, like, I think I had a shitty phone, so it didn't work great, and so, and then it just like died. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't even remember what happened, but dude, it was hot for a minute.
Yeah, I remember it was really big for like a year or two and then it went away. And that's where even that Bat Dad came from, I remember.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right.
But yeah, TikTok, I mean, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube all have the same thing. Like there's those, it's just called Reels on those. So it's pretty much the same thing.
Right,
So I didn't
it
really care
is.
about TikTok being gone too much. I felt like one of my coworkers was huge into TikTok and he was telling me, he's like, oh man, I'm having withdrawals. Like, go outside and touch grass. Just stop.
That's crazy. Really having withdrawals?
He was on TikTok all the time.
Jeez.
Like he would get his news from TikTok. He would
Oh,
send me multiple
jeez.
TikToks a day. He would go down huge conspiracy theory rabbit holes. Even when we were debating, he would bring up like, well, so and so doesn't like so and so, and that's kind of creating a split in that party. It's like, where are you getting this
Jeez.
from? I saw the video. Like you can tell. It's like
TikTok.
you saw it on TikTok. You saw it on TikTok. You're basing your
Yeah.
argument off of a TikTok video of somebody like, oh shit, look at this. See that look? That's what this look means. Like it's just
Yeah.
dumb shit.
Yeah. Just took in a 15-second clip and want to unfold
But my
everything.
whole reality is based off that. And this
Yeah.
random person,
It's
probably
crazy.
Tim from Idaho, says this, so I gotta believe it. That's his interpretation of it.
Dude, I mean, it's crazy how sucked in people really did get. Like I would, you just see people scrolling and they're just, it's like, oh my God, kind of
Mhm.
scary. It's scary. And then I was thinking, just the other day, I was in the shop at work, doing some organization and stuff, but then I got caught in a scroll on my phone, and I'm sitting here like this, and I was like, God, my neck fucking kills me all the time. And then I spiraled and I was like, dude, generations are probably going to stem from these effects. Like we're probably going to have like in the future be looking like that, like it can't be good. And so like I decided to do this and like be a total weirdo in the shop and just watch and look at my phone like this. Did it for 10 minutes, man. And I was like, ooh, that's like a shoulder burn. Like, it was like legitimately like a tinge of a workout. I was like, if we all just did that, dude, I mean, probably makes such a difference on our backs. Guarantee it.
I can also see them creating a device to where it's like a bar that you put around your neck and just holds the phone for you, kind of thing.
Yeah, true.
But then at the same time, it's almost like a feeding bag for a horse, but your phone, and that's how you get.
Yeah. Yeah, I just drooling watching it.
Yeah, you can follow us on TikTok. You can follow us on YouTube.
Yeah, sorry.
Give us a like and a subscribe. You can also check us out on. That's it. But anywhere you get your podcasts, you can email us at deathmetalldaddies@gmail.com. Let us know how we're doing. Yeah,
How much you
show
hate
us support.
ghosts?
Yeah, tell us how we're not real metalheads since I think ghosts is doom metal. Whatever you want to do, whatever. Either way, just show us some support. All the support helps, especially the subscriptions, reviews, anything like that. Even just word of mouth, getting more people onto it. Just kind of spreading the word. Trying to grow the death metal dad community. Making sure that we and any topics that you want us to bring up when it comes to if you're expecting a father or you're debating it, or if you're a mother, you want kind of hear some of our ideas, or if you want to suggest ideas of like here's a mother's perspective and so on and so forth, just let us know. Yeah. Until then, Death Metal Daddy's out.
Stay daddy. Oh yeah. My name's Josh Allen because I have to talk about what a fucking stud that dude is, man.